Hi, and good Thursday to you. The 14th day of May has been just about as nice as you could ever desire weather-wise, and I hope every other way as well for you. Thank you so much for spending a little time with us. And we're looking at a forecast, of course, that's always got changes abound. And we're looking at a tweaked forecast, and to some degree, a couple of significant changes, actually. We're talking about Friday's forecast looking a little bit better. Still a slight chance of some showers and storms and some clouds tomorrow, but not as great as what we're now expecting to see for most all of your weekend and not just the first half. So some changes, things have been moved around just a bit. We've got a lot of clouds, a lot of showers, and we've got temperatures which are still going to hang pretty well close to where they should be. We've got low to mid 70s and we've got low 80s in there as well. An update pending just in a few moments. We'll have that for you. We'll also talk about the Sayersville First Baptist Church as it relates to the future site, proposed future site of the new Montgomery County Public Library, and what a board member has forwarded to us. We'll delve into this topic tonight with, I expect, some follow-ups, and we're going to open up the window, so to speak, for any input should you like to chime in on the matter. We'll also talk about the first reading of annexation for the Paintsville City Council during the regular session earlier this week. A few reminders for you. A shooting down in Morgan County. A young man shot twice, once in the chest, still critically injured. All that, just a couple of reminders, though, before we get to other local headlines. The city of Sayersville is holding an auction to the highest bidder of two pieces of commercial equipment, if you will, or equipment. Dump trucks tomorrow are going to be sold to the highest bidder beginning at 1 o'clock in the parking lot by Sayersville City Hall. The first truck is an 1980 Ford, diesel, 13-speed, unknown mileage. It does run. It will be sold to the highest bidder. And then the second truck is an 84 Chevy gas dump truck with a 5-speed transmission, also unknown mileage. It also runs it too, to be sold to the highest bidder. They also have a Toyota brand street sweeper, which is to be sold as is. If you have any questions, you can call before the auction, which once again starts tomorrow at 1 o'clock near City Hall or the Sayersville Fire Department. But you can call City Hall at 349-2409 or the Fire Department at 349-3256. Catching the early show this evening, you might actually get somebody in the fire department, of course, as they have someone manned this evening. If not, you can call first thing in the morning. And our next big event, I think it's our next big event, time of year where things start to get active, but just a reminder, we'll be talking with some representatives there soon, but just to keep you informed and up to date and where you might want to keep it on your calendar, the first annual Royalton Rail Trail Festival is coming up at the end of this month on the 30th, next to the last day of the month. And I've gotten an itinerary out, which I can pass along to you just in brief because it's quite long. It's going to start at 9 o'clock that morning there in downtown Royalton, and they've done a lot of work to get ready for it. It's just $2 for adults and $1 for kids. Gospel sing with Anointed Hearts, Half Mountain Church, and Heaven's Sake will be from 10 in the morning till 1. Then some country, bluegrass, and a little rock and roll will start at 1 with Whitney Lovely, Nathan Howard, the Pulling Strings Band, Turning Ground, Terry Miller and the Bridge, and the Joseph Band. And 9 o'clock in the morning, they'll have a 5K starting at the Royalton Trailhead, a bike ride on the trail starting at noon, and then a horseback ride that afternoon or early evening at 4. Cornhole, horseshoe, a whole lot of other games and fun for the kids and adults alike, and much more. A lot of folks participating, a lot of organizations, and they're still building on that as well. But just mark it down May the 30th. We'll talk about it in the next few days. The official first reading of the proposed annexation in regards to efforts by the Paintsville City Council to widen their commercial base came and went without any anticipated friction, and was expected that some residents may be on hand to voice their opposition. While that still is a possibility, it didn't happen during that meeting. There were some other items discussed, a lot of time spent around some residents whose homes are in danger from a slide, and we're gathering some photos to go along with that, so I'll try to have that maybe on tomorrow night's program when we finish up coverage of the meeting. But Mayor Bob Porter of Paintsville did go into some discussion, the following, in regards to the options of Paintsville residents that they have to voice their opinions for or against. He's expecting, I'm sure, some against in regards to the proposed annexation in Paintsville. This is an excerpt from that meeting earlier this week.
Is to expand the city of Paintsville for future commercial growth. I know we have some people who are interested in that item, and I just want to let you know how it works. That this will be considered the first reading of the ordinance to annex the property. There'll be a notice. Well, first of all the property owners will be notified by mail. There'll be a notice in the Paintsville Herald no later than 14 days prior to the second reading. If the second reading passes, there will be a notice in the paper that gives the property owners 60 days to file a petition against the annexation. And then there will be another notice during that 60 days, from 7 to 14 days before the end of the 60 days. And then after final passage of the second reading, there will be a notice of the ordinance put in the paper. So you'll have at least, those of you who are interested are here, you'll have at least 30 days, 14 days from the date of the notice in the paper, but at least 30 days from this meeting to voice your feelings if you feel that you do not want that annexation to take place.
Has anybody notified you about wanting to put anything out there or anything right now? Like, is there anything you want to, maybe they want to build a building or put anything out there?
No. If there is a group, a like-minded group that does want to speak concerning this issue, I'd appreciate it if you would appoint a spokesperson, and we will allow you to make your case at the next meeting, but only from one person of a particular group, like-minded group. Make sense?
Yeah, but I mean, I think that, whatever you decide, I mean, I think we discussed it, we'd let, when we open the floor, we'd let,
They also, in further discussion, opened up the floor for that meeting if there was anyone of if there was anyone of that like-minded group who wished to address the city council at that time. No one chose to do so, but it's expected they may have some remarks to share during the next meeting before the second ordinance is read on the matter confirming the official annexation. More on this meeting and some other governmental meetings that we have to cover in the next coming days. Hopefully we'll be able to work it all in for tomorrow's program, as well as a special report I've been holding just for Friday to go out on. But for now, let me go out to a few words from a few sponsors. Remember to please let them know you're watching when you can, and I'll be right back. To get high-speed internet on their state-of-the-art fiber optic network for all of your home and business solutions, or to watch TV without a contract on over 200 digital channels with superb quality, or stay connected with family and friends with 24/7 telephone service you can always depend on, contact Foothills Broadband today. Or just click on their link to the right to find out how they're working to provide the latest in communications at affordable prices with exceptional service at Foothills Broadband. It happened early yesterday afternoon. A young man from neighboring Morgan County was shot not once but twice, one of those shots striking him directly in his chest while he was attempting to apparently help a friend determine ownership of a motorcycle. Well, we know the 21-year-old man from Morgan County was initially taken to the Morgan County Appalachian Regional Hospital and then airlifted from there to the UK Medical Center as a trauma patient and still in critical condition. We also know factually that the Kentucky State Police have officially told us that the shooting took place on Perry Road in Morgan County. Troopers say that they responded to the scene and found Sam E. Sparks, 21, of Grassy Creek, shot. He was shot multiple times. He was flown to the UK Medical Center for treatment and listed in stable but still critical condition. While the shooting is under investigation, members of Sparks' family and some acquaintances have shed some other light, but still a lot of unanswered questions. It is their understanding that he had gone with a friend to inspect a motorcycle that may have been stolen. The ownership uncertain to us this hour. They also say that when he was looking at the machine. In an attempt to see the VIN number, he leaned over and was shot twice, once in the arm, once in his chest. And the state police also have confirmed that they're possibly investigating this as an act of self-defense at the same time. That's still yet to be determined as well. A lot of unknowns. But we do know once again that Sparks is still in the UK Medical Center after suffering those 2 gunshot wounds on Perry Road in West Liberty rather early yesterday afternoon, late afternoon, early evening. Now to turn to your Montgomery County Farm Bureau sponsored calendar announcements. Oh, I've got birthdays I got to back up and do. First, let me say this. I didn't get this one typed in, and it's not until next Tuesday, but I'll remind you tomorrow and Monday. They're having a big bag day sale, $1 a bag for all the clothing you can stuff in that bag, I guess, at the open door at the St. Luke Catholic Church here on Parkway Drive in Sagersville. That is Tuesday of next week, 9 till 2, for their big bag day sale for $1 a bag. Now, before we get to these announcements and reminders, let me back up and hit some special wishes tonight. Birthday wishes this Thursday to Kathy Howard. Love Tanya and Trenton. Kathy, happy birthday to you. We hope you had a special birthday today. Happy birthday to Kathy Howard. Happy birthday to Lisa LeMaster. With a whole lot of love from a whole lot of family and friends. Happy birthday to you this Thursday, the 14th day of May. I've got birthday wishes going out to Eddie Boo Boo Gibson. Love your mom and dad and a whole lot of family and friends who love you lots. Happy birthday, Boo Boo. He's 45. Happy birthday to Eddie Gibson. And I got a birthday wish going out to Scotty Dyer. It says, I'm just reading this for the first time. Happy birthday to Scotty Dyer. Love Anna, Wayne, Wendell, and Brian, family and friends. Happy birthday to you. A quick reminder that the fishing tournament sponsored by the Sagersville Fire Department is this Saturday. They'll start at 8 at the Paintsville Lake. Call 349-3256 if you have any questions about the big prizes and all the other details. The class of 72 in the Sagersville High School has set their reunion for Saturday the 23rd in the site of the old Sagersville High School there in the grounds of the old Sagersville Grade School now, as we refer to it. Call 791-2384 if you have any questions, classmates. They hope to see you there. And remember, call me anytime you've got announcements, birthdays, anniversaries, or otherwise. You can also catch programming on yournewstoday.com for any show you may have missed or one you just want to see again. Turning to funeral service announcements provided by the Montgomery County Funeral Home, I'm told graveside services are going to be held tomorrow in honor of 60-year-old Larry Garver Hackworth of Old Burning Fork Road, who passed away on yesterday's date, the son of Eula Sparks Hackworth and the late Henry Hackworth. Besides his mother, he's survived by brothers Timothy J. and Darrell Keith and sisters Ruth Ann Hackworth and Joanne Howes. Visitation is this evening after 7 at the Montgomery County Funeral Home and again tomorrow until graveside services, which will be held at the Hackworth Cemetery on Burning Fork. And we're also told of services for 82-year-old Ollie Dickey Coldiron of Royalton Road, who passed away on the 12th. Survived by his wife, Wilma Jean Watkins Coldiron. He's also survived by sons Herschel and Gary and daughters Jody Belcher and Tammy Bailey. Visitation is this evening. It's all day tomorrow and up until services, which starts Saturday afternoon at 1, all of which from the Montgomery County Funeral Home Chapel. Burial will take place after at the Green Carpenter Cemetery at Swampton, once again in honor of 82-year-old Ollie Dickey Coldiron.
Hey guys, Jason Weffenstedt, sales manager at the all-new Hutch Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Paintsville, Kentucky. Where, as you can tell behind me, we're just weeks away from opening our brand new dealership, and we want to invite everybody down to take a test drive and be entered to win a free vacation package from Hutch Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Paintsville, Kentucky.
They're only weeks away from their grand opening, but they're open for business today. So come in and get entered for a vacation package to be given away at the brand new Hutch Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Paintsville. 297-5066. To get high-speed internet on their state-of-the-art fiber optic network for all of your home and business solutions, or to watch TV without a contract on over 200 digital channels with superb quality, or stay connected with family and friends with 24/7 telephone service you can always depend on, contact Foothills Broadband today. Or just click on their link to the right to find out how they're working to provide the latest in communications at affordable prices with exceptional service at Foothills Broadband. Now for some discussion on an historic structure in Sagersville that was proposed to be the house of the new McGoffin County Public Library, but is now proposed to be demolished sometime in the relatively near future per a vote by the McGoffin County Library Board at their last regular meeting. Now, my generation was perhaps the last to see the old Dixie Bridge as it stood. I can still remember, for whatever reason, I was standing outside of the Ramey Pool looking at the bridge that day when the last vehicle to cross it was a large commercial truck that the bridge could not sustain as it fell through. Fortunately, the newly constructed replacement was complete enough to be used on a temporary, well, and actually a permanent basis thereafter. That bridge, of course, stood adjacent to one of the last few iconic structures in downtown Sagersville, actually one of the first structures to be built in downtown Sagersville, going back to 1929. The remnants to the ramp to which, referring to the old Dixie Bridge, is still there and kind of part of the old Sagersville First Baptist Church parking lot, where you can just kind of vaguely remember or envision the path that the old steel structure once took. While standing alongside it for a number of years, built in 1929, and I think this photograph taken in that same year, or at least a copy of that photograph, stood the First Baptist Church, which was replaced just a few years prior by something newer, larger, and more modern, a newer structure just across the way. Now it looks like that same future may mean the demise of this historic structure that has served in so many countless capacities for decades, not just church services, but for weddings, meetings, and a host of other events for a great number of families and generations. After moving across the way into their new facility, the Sagersville First Baptist Church was given $450,000 in coal severance funds by McGoffin County Fiscal Court for this property, the original First Baptist Church, and the land it sits on, with the premise that it was going to be used for the new McGoffin County Public Library. It has sat pretty much dormant for years since, while plans were being put together to add to this structure and add to this iconic piece, keeping its heritage but giving it a renewed purpose. Those plans were to remodel and expand, but have since been replaced by a plan that I'm told was approved by the library board to tear down the building to make a basically $450,000 lot for which they would build an entirely new library from the ground up. The reason being, I am told, that the state and or engineers say that the current structure in its capacity and with sewer and other utilities that run beneath will not allow for a solid enough of a foundation to add on to support the load of the new addition and also the books and contents that would be housed therein. And as a result, the library board unanimously voted during their last regular meeting to tear it down and start all over from the ground up. Since then, one member, of which I'm not for certain of all the members' names as of yet, but one member has since recanted his feelings toward that decision and is looking to the public and elsewhere to reverse the move and sentiment and find an alternate solution and save the structure. In a letter he has penned with an interview forthcoming at a later time, David May, who has been recently reappointed to the McGoffin County Library Board, says that he had the privilege of attending one meeting since being appointed, and that he, as a member of the board, as did the other members of the board, voted to demolish the First Baptist Church building in order to construct a new library. He said that he thought this arose out of a bit of desperation from needing a new library now, which he agrees with. He says, however, after that meeting, he's reflected and pondered upon the ramifications of that action, and at the next meeting, which is set for Tuesday the 19th, next Tuesday at 10 o'clock that morning in the public library, he plans on making a motion that they postpone the demolition of this historic building for 6 months and try to explore some other options. In the supportive letter that he penned to us, he says that from strictly an objective standpoint, the current location, the one where the church sits, he believes is insufficient in size, only 16 parking spaces at most, not allowing room for services such as a bookmobile program, outdoor activities, limiting other services as well, and that also the underground utility location restricts developmental potential as well. And the additional cost, he says, of replicating the existing architecture might very well be offset with the purchase price of another lot or location. He also says that having room to construct a one-story library without design restraints and utilizing successful, universally accepted library design plans could very well make up the difference in the cost of real estate purchase. He also refers to the Kentucky Main Street Program preservationists and the Heritage Council that would all, he thinks, be appalled by the demolition of one of the very few remaining and arguably most beautiful historic buildings in downtown Saggers, one that could never be replaced and lost forever. Public opinion, he says, in regard to the Magoffin County Public Library may very well be extremely eroded. He says that public support of the library, as we all know, is essential. He also says, though, that never in the library's history is support needed more than now, and that the adaptive reuse of historic structures concept in regard to historic preservation is universally accepted. He's hoping that there will be some input on the matter, and that he's hoping to reverse the tides at Tuesday's meeting, 10 o'clock in the Magoffin County Public Library. These are some renderings of the proposed project, the to-be-constructed Magoffin County Public Library. A couple of different angles are seen here, and both of which do pay homage to the original structure, even more so from the other view, which is at this time what the library board is considering based upon architectural considerations and renderings that they have been provided with to date. And the topic has already started to stir up a great deal of interest. And if you would like to share yours with us here on the show, find me on Facebook at Ritt or Mortimer. Not necessarily Your News Today. That page has not worked forever, and Facebook has still yet to fix it. So find me on my personal page at Ritt or Mortimer or Your News Today at yahoo.com. With that said, here's a forecast that I'd like to have a few more days like today that are in. Another 80-degree day here at the studio. No complaints. It was a nice one. Clouds increasing throughout much of the afternoon and early evening hours. And we'll fall back tonight about 20 degrees or a little more at around 59 degrees. Only a light wind will prevail. And I've got 2 miles an hour moving out there right now. Mostly cloudy skies, though, are in the forecast for tonight. That will take us into Friday. Friday doesn't look as bad as it did 24 hours ago. Everything's kind of moved on up towards the entire weekend, albeit a 30% chance of some showers, maybe even a thunderstorm or two after 2 o'clock tomorrow. We're not going to see much sun, mostly cloudy skies. We'll see the 80s again, 82 for the high. We'll fall back to 62 tomorrow night. The chance of precipitation, 20-30% at best, which is a little less than what we were predicting 24 hours ago. Saturday, however, looks to be still a better shot of some showers and storms. 80, 63 for your daytime ranges. Mostly cloudy skies, pretty much start to finish. Don't expect to see much sunshine either for the first half of your weekend. And Sunday, even though we were hoping to get out of the clouds and showers, even looks more so than Saturday possibly. So both days, it's not going to be a start to finish stormy, showery day, but you'll be dodging them more often than not, possibly. 81, 66 on your Sunday with still a chance of showers. Thunderstorms, actually a really good chance. They're quite likely, as they are again on Monday, with showers and storms likely, still mostly cloudy above. 81, 58 for your high and your low. Tuesday, a lesser chance, but another cool down, 72. We'll see the sunshine return, I believe, and we'll see a 20% chance of some early showers and storms, but clearing out, leaving us with partly cloudy skies by the end of Tuesday. Into midweek, I think we'll see 66, 67 degrees at best on Wednesday, mostly sunny, definitely cooler. A nighttime low right now doesn't look to be in the 40s for us, but we're dangerously close to the upper 40s at 50 degrees for nighttime lows on your Wednesday. And Thursday of next week, I think mid-70s and some more sunshine, maybe some nice conditions thereafter, but we've got a little back and forth between now and then. And for now, that's my time. Thank you so much for being a part of it. I'm already trying to figure out how I'm going to get as much news as I already have on tomorrow night's program. So tune in and see what's happening on Your News Today. Good night.